Yo. Let's get 200 likes on this video and we'll keep the ball rolling. Alright, so believe it or not, unlike the rest of the Boruto community, I'm actually really excited to talk about Code because I actually enjoy his character. People are always saying,
oh, he's taken 7, 8, 9 L's at this point.
I don't care if he's taken 20 L's, because there's also some false victories or small victories that he has achieved. When looking at a character, you can't look at just the impact that they have on themselves, but the impact on the world around them. If it wasn't for Code, we wouldn't have got Borushiki in the first place, we wouldn't have got Sage Mode Naruto, and we also wouldn't have got Boruto's eventual passing. When we're looking at the reason that Momoshiki is no longer able to revive, it is because of Code's impact on the world around him. That in and of itself makes him a worthy antagonist. But hey, I'm just a screenwriter, and this is just my screenwriter's perspective. So the Code arc just recently ended with the latest chapter. That means we're able to look in retrospect at the Code arc in full. So with all the context set up in the Code arc, what is from the narrative of the writing, the perspective of the screenwriter, what do I see? Well, I'll tell you what I see. What I see is a conflict, a clash between the protagonist, our hero, Kawaki, and the antagonist, our villain, Code, of the Code arc. It's called a Code arc for a reason. The focus was on Code and to develop him into not only the villain that he will become, but the character that he needs to be. This was a transition arc, transitioning from Ishiki as the main villain with Code as his underling into Code becoming the villain, similar to the hand guy from My Hero Academia.
I mean, I don't know, I don't really watch My Hero, it's not that great from a screenwriter's perspective.
But back to Code, we have the antagonist versus the protagonist, and when looking at these characters, we have to look at two things, what they want and what they really want. And so what Kawaki wants is his love for Naruto. That's why he goes to Code to take him away so that Naruto doesn't have to die. And on the other hand, we have what the antagonist wants. We have his love for Ishiki, and he wants that to reign true. And so he goes to Kawaki to steal him to become the Divine Tree. He's doing all of this for Ishiki's sake. So in the end, why does Code lose? They both love their own respective characters. That's their reason for fighting, their will for fighting. However, what's different here is that Kawaki's love for Naruto reigns true, whereas Code's love for Ishiki has some dilemma set within it. There's contradictions in place, whereas Kawaki's love is pure. It's consistent. It is strong. Even though Code is physically stronger, Code falters, whereas Kawaki endures. And it is a shinobi who endures. So sticking with the overarching narrative, the overarching themes of all of Naruto, Kawaki is a shinobi. Kawaki endures Code's wrath long enough for Code to be the reason that he himself failed. Kawaki isn't the reason that he failed. It's Kawaki's sustainability in his own morals that led to Code's inevitable downfall, because Code cannot sustain the way that Kawaki can. But that's a lot of mumbo jumbo. What else am I really saying here? What is the actual physical reason that I can point to in the plot that Code faltered? The reason is actually because of Ada. So as I was saying earlier, the whole point of this arc, the writing behind the reasoning, the meaning of this arc, is the love between the protagonist and the antagonist. Kawaki's love is greater than Code's love, which is why he won. But why? Why was Code's love weaker? Why was he a contradiction? Well, it's not just because it's a transition arc for him to go to an underling to a full-fledged villain. Rather, looking at his character, the reason he lost at the very end of the arc, in the last chapter versus Damon, is because not only does he love Ishiki, he also loves Ada. Ada was introduced in the love arc as a character focused, revolving around love. That's not a coincidence. That's in the writing for a reason. Ada is the reason that Code lost to Kawaki from a writing perspective. Because Code wasn't just focused on loving Ishiki. If he was, he would have just taken Kawaki from the get-go. Instead of taking an L, by the way, he started beating up Kawaki. That is a W. But it is a small victory. And Code can take 100 small victories. That is his impact on the world around him, which makes him a decent villain. The difference is that he doesn't achieve his end goal because his love has dilemma. It's not consistent. So he's not able to take Kawaki. He's not able to feed him to the Divine Tree to become the Otsutsuki God. At least not as of the halfway point of this arc. When we transition towards the end of this arc, Code realizes his flaws and he adapts. He strengthens his own character and learns from it to become a villain similar in structure to Ishiki. Now, at the end of this arc, after losing to Damon, Code's heart heart has been broken. He no longer cares about Ada in the same way that he did. Instead, he's focused on his love for Ishiki, becoming the Otsutsuki god. Regardless of whether it's to know how he feels about Ada or not, I think deep down, Code understands he no longer cares about Ada, even though her ability doesn't let him say that out loud. But as we transition into this new arc, the focus will no longer be on the love, because now we already understand Kawaki's love for Naruto was greater than Code's contradicted love. However, will Kawaki's love still be greater than Code's full love, his strengthened love, his focused love on Ishiki? Now they can have an actual rivalry. However, this arc is no longer the Code arc. We aren't going to be focused on Code. We're not going to be focused on love. That means Ada is no longer going to have the impact that she originally had in this upcoming arc. So what will happen? Only time will tell. I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out in these upcoming next chapters.